So what does Octane do? We work with businesses to help them reduce data error, loss and duplication, which over time increases productivity, speed, accuracy and lowers costs. But how do we do that? First, we need to look at what they do, their workflow. And then we take that workflow, we break it down into its component parts, and we either automate or semi-automate that workflow. And by that, we're talking about a piece of web software, cloud software, so that their team are able to sign in through a secure connection and share data between themselves or with clients and customers, and then take that data, turn it into information. Because data and information, they're not the same thing, and generate reports, perform analyses, do incredible things with the data which wouldn't have been possible beforehand, or would have been difficult with sheets of paper, pens and a copy of Microsoft Excel. So what are these improvements? Well, first we need to look at where things are going wrong, and sometimes often it's these little things. It's 1 or 2 minutes lost per employee, perhaps 2 or 3 times a day, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but once you begin to do the numbers in your head, so you imagine 2 or 3 minutes multiplied by 3 per employee, and you've got 5 employees, and then multiply that by 5 days out of the week, and 4 weeks a month, and 12 months a year, and that 2 or 3 minutes grows into something that's costing a business several £1,000s per annum. But what happens then if the problems are bigger? Several minutes, 4 or 5, 6 minutes, and it's time at the executive level, or a managing director such as myself, that then becomes a considerable problem. Other issues are the number of stakeholders or signatories in a particular workflow. Sometimes a particular task requires 3 or 4 people to sign off before things can progress, and these things are more logistical than they are technical. But at the same time, we look at these, we examine the workflow, every aspect of it, and improve those efficiencies so the whole thing, everything moves as fast as is possible without losing more data or creating additional problems. And it's not something that you get correct the first time of asking. One client in particular, I've had them for over a decade, and we have gone through cycle after cycle of testing and evaluation stages, honing a feature, sometimes discarding a feature because we realize, you know what, it worked the first time. So it's a learning process, and because of this, it requires a frank and open relationship with the client. It's not something where everything is done and dusted at the end of the month. That's not possible. These are projects that are multi-year in length, but the benefits to the customer or to the client are huge, often 5-figure savings. So initially it's about reducing costs, but then over time, once we've improved the workflow and we're making these savings, after that it's possible for the client to then explore other services and products which weren't feasible before because they didn't have the time, or they didn't have the resources, they didn't have the finances and the funds to be able to do that. And so the benefits to the client, as I said, they're huge. The potential benefits over time are considerable. And that's the type of thing that I do, and I love doing it. I love fixing problems. I love finding these minuscule flaws in the workflow and improving things. But the important thing, and no, it's vital that the people, that the employees are on board. They've got to be part of that process. And so the software reflects them. It's about them. I'm not prescriptive. Certain things, certain mechanical processes, we've got to stick with them. But ultimately, it's down to the employees. It's down to the people who are going to be using the software. And so it's for them. And once you get them on board, once they know that they're part of the software, the development, the inclusiveness and the responses that you get from them is sometimes it's magical. So that's what Octane does. That's what I do. That's what I love doing.